afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Political Fight Club. And I know I told you guys I was going to try to lay off the squad until something like May 1st. I gave them 6 weeks about a month ago to get a Medicare for All floor vote, and I was trying to take them at their word, which at the time Pramila Jayapal was like, force the vote! Because apparently she doesn't understand that she doesn't have leverage, so they were trying to force the vote by doing nothing but tweet. And so I decided to take them at their word that they had some leverage behind the scenes that we didn't know about, but that conversation has all but died. I can't remember the last time any one of the squad mentioned Medicare for All. And with what they did today, I got to start going at them again. I can't hold back anymore. I'm sorry. So Kulinski brought this to my attention, and if you want, I would highly recommend going to see his breakdown of this Bloomberg article, because he went fucking scorched earth on the Justice Democrats. And if you guys don't know, Kulinski was one of the 4 founders of Justice Democrats, and he's so disgusted with them now, as he should be, and it was cathartic to watch him decimate them this morning. So that's where I got this from, and I'm going to read to you a little bit about what the squad's actually doing. But notice that in the Bloomberg article, which is an extremely neoliberal publication, it talks about the squad going from more of a Tea Party style tactics to more like triangulation strategy within the party, and it's talking about how they're doing such great work now that they're not doing anything. So notice when they do stuff that is within the party that is completely ineffectual, that's all kabuki theater and doesn't actually produce any change, the neoliberal mainstream media is going to fawn over them as if they're so smart and so great, because they know that they have gotten the squad neutralized in these lower, just because they give you, a low-ranking job, and I think one of them is like they're on the vote counting committee. It's like, oh, great, well, in 10 years, work your way up from there, and maybe we'll have a real committee assignment for you, Mondare. But, like, it's crazy to me that the squad is so afraid to, like, take on the ire of the mainstream media for going after what you actually believe in and leaning into these things, because that would make you more popular and you would have an outside game, because the people would love the fact that you're bucking the establishment and fighting for the things that they got you elected for. But instead what they do is they say, oh, well, we're working behind the scenes and we can't tell you exactly what's going on, but trust me, we're wheeling and dealing. And then, of course, then Bloomberg News goes, oh, they're such geniuses for the progressive movement here. We're going to watch them triangulate within the party instead of being so divisive like the Tea Party was. That's not what they were put there for. And Kulinski says this explicitly. They were not put there to triangulate their way up and get us incremental change and become part of the establishment. They were put there to be a wrecking ball to the establishment and draw a line in the sand and vote as a block the way that the Tea Party did. So that's from one of the founders of Justice Democrats. They're not doing what they were supposed to do when they got in there. And watch the video with Kulinski. It's wonderful. But I'm going to read this to you. Rather than starting a rival group within the Democratic Party, far-left members are joining and taking leadership positions in the 95-member Congressional Progressive Caucus that's been around for 3 decades. Minnesota Rep. Ilhan Omar, also elected in 2018, now leads the CPC's vote-counting team. This is a different approach than the Tea Party Republicans took after they were elected in 2010 at the midpoint of the first Obama term. Instead, they challenged GOP leadership and spurned the existing conservative Republican Study Committee to start the Freedom Caucus and draw a starker ideological line. Democrat Mondare Jones, a newly elected representative from New York who joined the Progressive Caucus's vote-counting team, said focusing on gettable policies while building consensus for bolder moves is an explicit strategy. Quote, where we can get victories, we should be concentrating our energies in those places, said Jones in an interview. For example, quote, lowering the age of Medicare eligibility over getting a floor vote for Medicare for All, since there isn't currently enough support in the House to pass more comprehensive universal health care programs progressives would like to see. End quote. That's pathetic, man. So this is them admitting that they aren't fighting. This is what we've been saying. This is what Jimmy Dore's been saying, and this is why Kyle Kulinski is so irate, because they're just tacitly admitting here that they're no longer fighting at all. They're not aiming high on anything. They're meeting in the middle before they even come to the table, if they're even allowed at the table. They're taking out of account that we're in the middle of a fucking pandemic right now where 1,000 people are still dying daily, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. There's no urgency left in them because they become careerists. Now, this is going to bring me to my last point, okay? Like, Kulinski was kind of asking himself, you know, what do we do now? And I agree, like, what do we do? If we can't trust these people to go in there and do what they campaigned on and what all their donors want them to do, how do we get them from becoming careerists? And it occurred to me months ago that what you have to do if we can't avoid this, which it doesn't look like we can, every single one of them goes in there, and I worry that even Nina Turner's going to go in there and just, like, again, allow herself to be pulled towards the center as well. What you have to do is build another thing like the Justice Democrats that helps get people elected, but every single one of them has to run what I call a kamikaze campaign. And a kamikaze campaign has to be giving specific policy goals and saying, listen, I have a timeline. I will either get these things done or I will resign. I will not stay in Congress longer if I can't get these done. I will step down if I don't have these things done in 4 or 6 years. That's something tangible, and you just run it and repeat it. And then it would help, obviously, if you found people that were of, kind of poorer upbringing that have been through it. The Cori Bushes of the world are more resolute than somebody like AOC, who was like a bartender for like 5 years before she got into Congress. Whereas Cori Bush has been living out of her car. She's gone through it, and she's older than AOC, if I know correctly. So I would particularly like you to get people that don't want to make a career out of being a politician and who have so much hatred in their hearts for the establishment that they are uncorruptible, and even go so far as maybe to say, I'm not going to do this for more than 6 years, ever, regardless of what I get done. So a kamikaze campaign has to be like, listen, I'm running for Congress in 2024, and if by 2028 we haven't had a Medicare for All floor vote and a $15 minimum wage and a guaranteed basic income, I will step down. Those are the 3 things I will give you. Guaranteed basic income, $15 minimum wage, and a Medicare for All floor vote, or Medicare for All if you want to go big, and say, if we don't have these things by the end of this, I will step down. And what that does is it prove to the people that are donating to these people that they're not going to go in there and try to triangulate for 20 years. They're going to go in there and knock people around, conk heads together, use leverage, and get as much done as possible in those 4 years. And you know they're going to do it because they said they'll resign if they don't, over and over again. And the people will believe it, and those are the people that will be de-incentivized and unlurable to the dark side. That's what I would do. If I were running for Congress, that's what I do. I put my own term limit in. I say, listen, if I don't get these things done, I'm stepping down, because then I don't know what I'm doing. And you guys don't have enough time to wait for me to diddle fuck around for like 10 years. So that's what I would do. This is disgusting. I'll put a link to the Bloomberg article and the Kyle Kulinski video, because he absolutely just rained unholy hell down on all of them, and they deserve every bit of it. So I've lost all faith in the squad now. But I am happy that I get to start beating up on them again. I've been really trying to bite my tongue over the last month. I really have. And now I'm going to produce like probably 3 or 4 more videos a week, because they're being doofy and they're not getting anything done. So that makes me happy, I guess. So keep fighting the good fight out there. I've got at least 1 more video for you guys prepared. I'll probably get that out to you tonight. See ya.